Hi guys, today we're going to react to The Poet and the Pendulum by Nightwish. It's been a short while. This is a buy me a coffee request from Tabitha. Thank you, Tabitha, for bringing us back to Nightwish and for your support. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Tabitha. Always amazing with the support and for sticking us with a 14-minute song. So yeah, this should be fun.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Let's find out. We love Nightwish, so let's see.
I'll never get used to these cinematic intros by Nightwish. They're not starting a song, they're invading Mordor. I don't know if it was Floor who was whispering in the beginning, but when she started to sing in the intro, we know Floor's amazing prowess. She's an opera singer. She's extremely proficient aside from Nightwish. That was a lovely reminder of what she's capable of. And the intro, like Nightwish, is fairly lengthy. It was amusing to me to think that the drummer has time for a coffee before he sits to play. I love these intros. I love these Nightwish events. A song is an event, like we said with Epica. I really love it when they do that, when they start this cinematic, this amazing type of intros. Really cool.
Yeah, that sort of intro that was here, it sounded like a child singing, like part of a choir of some sort or something like that, but it wasn't a choir. I was trying to work out if it's Floor's voice or not, but I couldn't work it out because it was too sort of whispery, weird, very theatrical intro that kind of had me lost. I wasn't sure where I was, but as soon as the music kicked in, it was like, oh, of course, this is Nightwish. That's what they do. Everything's got to be epic and amazing, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the song's going to go.
I love the exhilarating vibe that this song has. It climbs in your head and stays there. It makes you want to jump off your seat. I love it when they do that. They have a lot of songs like that, but the level of energy that I'm getting from this performance is amazing. I feel like I'm in the crowd. I think it's common with these symphonic metal bands where the performance is enveloped in epicness. There are a lot of different elements in there that makes you feel like you're not just listening to a song or watching a performance. It's like witnessing an art piece. And I love the dynamic between them. There was a moment there where Empu came up to Tomas, and it was like they were chit-chatting amidst the performance. There was like Empu saying, "So, what's up with you? Cool. I'm playing a concert. What are you doing?" "I'm playing a concert as well." That's what it felt like. And Floor is amazing as always. Really love watching this.
Yeah, they're all amazing, as always, as you say. But I only have really one thing to say about it so far. This is potentially, in my opinion, the best, most banging chorus I've heard from Nightwish so far. I've never heard this song before, so this is a first for me. So that's freaking awesome.
Well, it's not surprising. The song is building up to be an emotional roller coaster. It's like a way for them to hack the different frequencies to evoke certain emotions. And there's a melancholic, like we witnessed now, element in the song. And before that, we tremendously enjoyed the anthemic, exhilarating, inspirational vibe that they deliver. I can totally understand what you said about the chorus. It's a banging chorus. I think that's what I meant when I said it climbs in your head and stays there. This entire song is, I'm assuming Tomas wrote the lyrics for it. There was a moment there where I saw him tearing up, I think. I don't know. I've never seen Tomas like that. It was beautiful. Even that section we witnessed now was totally different from the entire song.
Yeah, it feels as though there have been at least 3 sections so far, and they're all different. It's like almost like a stage production, like you're seeing some kind of a play, and even like a musical. And when Flora is singing, she's acting it out, even with her voice. And when they got out of that banging chorus and had a bit of a bridge to the next section, and then when she started singing, her voice is beautiful. I got goosebumps when she went a bit higher, and then she went back down to almost like singing in her almost speaking voice. And again, it was just beautiful. I think that this is a very, very personal song for Tomas, and I'm 100% sure that he wrote the words and probably composed the whole thing. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, and I can only assume what it's like for him to play it in front of an audience. I mean, that's what he does, play his songs in front of audiences. But I mean, with the meaning that this song holds, I can only assume that this special moment for him as well.
Yeah, I'm waiting for us to get further into the song to see what the rest of the lyrics are like, to kind of try to get my head around it. It's not as clear as one might think, so it's a tough one, but very, very interesting and very well written.
afraid, so afraid. Being raped again and again and again. I know I will die alone, but loved. You live long enough to hear the sound of guns. Long enough to find yourself screaming every night. Long enough to see your friends betray you. For years, I've been strapped onto this altar. Now I only have 3 minutes, counting. I just wish the tide would catch me first and give me a death I always longed for.
This is not a song, it's a quest. It's an amalgamation of different thought processes and ways to express Tomas's emotions on paper and then bring it to life in a music performance. This is why I kept circling around, and you mentioned it's like a play, and I mentioned it's like an art piece. I think that's what we're looking at. It's beautiful. There are gear changes, and when Marco went in with his scruffy voice, it's like a recipe. It's like a little bit of Marco, a lot of Floor, and it was Floor, I think, was whispering, because I could make out the texture of her voice as she whispered again. So you can recognize that's her voice. This is ramping up to be the best I've ever heard from Nightwish thus far in this lineup, in this particular performance. Yeah, this is a moment for me.
I think Tomas plays around with themes a lot, but it's not always such an opus like this. You know, sometimes he writes a song about a certain theme that is just to do with the state of the world. Sometimes it's to do with love. Sometimes it's to do with something else. This is the most personal, I think, that I've heard or listened to, you know, to the words from him, because I think this song comes directly from his experience and point of view, and it talks about him. There was a mention there about the death of the poet. He's talking about himself, and it's beautiful, it's dark, it's a little bit worrying, and at the same time, just gorgeous. And like you said, you know, there's a little bit of Marco, which was a great section, and a lot of Floor, but ultimately it's all Tomas. It took me back to thinking about the beginning of the song, and it's also beautiful to see how Floor translates his words. She sings from his mind in a way. It's amazing. I still am not sure if I sort of get the whole meaning of this. I have some ideas, but oh my God, it's fantastic.
Today, in the year of our Lord 2005, Turamus was called from the cares of the world. He stopped crying at the end of each beautiful day. The music he wrote had too long been without silence. He was found naked and dead, with a smile on his face, a pen, and 1,000 pages of erased text.
My understanding from what I've heard so far and what I gather is the theme of the song and possibly Tomas's intent. It's something we talked about before in a different band, a different song. But I think in here, Tomas is conflating the fact that the melancholic state that he is in or normally in or all the hardships he went through in life, be it outside sources or from his inner battles, that's what fueled his creativity. So he's conflating these terrible feelings and being able to create these songs and the pining for bliss and for happier days when the creative drive is probably not as sharp as he'd like to be. There's a section here where they're eulogizing him. I'm paraphrasing, but they say Tomas was found naked and dead with a smile on his face. As of yet, I can't decipher why they put that there specifically to say that, but maybe it's not Tomas, maybe it's his creativity. I don't know. I mean, this is like a shot in the dark of an interpretation. The amount of lyrics and their ambiguity is like a storm in my brain right now. I'm trying to grab a hold of what Tomas could possibly mean with this entry. The process itself is also enjoyable, but I don't have a definitive answer for that yet. I'm guessing so far.
I think that in general terms, this song is talking about a stage where Tomas was deep in depression. But even more so than depression, there is some disillusionment here, especially in that section where they were eulogizing him. It said, Tomas was called from the cares of the world. He stopped crying at the end of each beautiful day, which means he stopped feeling. He was crying at the end of each beautiful day because the day was so beautiful, he was emotional, so something dark happened. The music he wrote had too long been without silence. That's beautiful. I think I have some idea of where this is going, but it's difficult to know without hearing it all the way to the end, to kind of work out where this story ends. So it's beautiful, it's complex, and yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of it.
the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's connecting in my head right now, although I'm still not sure that I've interpreted it even nearly as close to what Tomas has intended. But the song's title, The Poet and the Pendulum. Pendulum can mean the passage of time, and there are issues that need to be resolved in one's psyche. Pendulum, as to say that Tomas's emotional stability is swaying. Just like the song changes gears, the emotional roller coaster Tomas is in is swaying between different types of emotions. And I think he's applying Floor's abilities and prowess to be the conduit of what he wants to deliver. The whole point of the band is to be that conduit, but I think that like the gear changes, Floor can take on different types of signatures and characters even within one performance to deliver that message. At the last section, she was like almost maternally caressing, and the lines even correlated with that. She said, "Be still, my son, your home." It's like a mother talking to her child. It's right there. So I'm assuming that's what he meant. He meant as to say, to write words a mother would say to her son, a loving mother. That's a tone shift in Flora's demeanor, as opposed to the head twirl and the fury that comes out of her voice when she belts out these beautiful sounds. And I think it'll take a long while for this song to percolate enough for me to gather maybe a more educated guess as to what Tomas meant. But it does strongly feel that it's an expression of his inner battles and his way of turning those battles into something he can be proud of, something that he can share with the rest of the world.
When starting, like, follow the song and where it was going, I had no doubt that this is an extremely personal song for him. It's an epic creation that he put together, I think, to consolidate a traumatic experience in his life. He's going through his depression and anxiety and all kinds of things that happened in his life, but there was mention there of betrayal that I think referred to the band. Something about your friends betraying you. And I think he was talking about the band. That gave me like a first hint. And then there was that section that said, "Today, in the year of our Lord 2005, Tomas was called from the cares of the world. He stopped crying at the end of each beautiful day. The music he wrote," that you refer to it as a eulogy. I think this song is about the band parting ways with Tarja. That happened in 2005. I'm pretty sure. I think late 2005, but I'm not 100% sure. I think that this is his, artistically putting it all together as far as how he felt about her, about the band, about it all happening. He felt betrayed because I think that he built this band. He was the founder, and it's more than just a baby to him. It's his life, really. And from what I recall about what happened with Tarja, I heard a lot about it at the time, even though I wasn't even much of a listener to sort of Nightwish's music. In the rock and metal world, everybody was talking about it. And I think what happened was, the story was that Tarja was sort of looking elsewhere. She was looking to a solo career, and there were whispers that she might leave the band. And the band was saying that she is no longer present enough. Somebody referred to her as like a guest vocalist. That's how she's behaving in the band. I think that they actually fired her before she left, and that was at the end of some tour or concert or something like that, and they did it like a very formal way, and it was a big brouhaha all over metal magazines and shows, and everybody was talking about it, and it didn't end well. And I think for Tomas, the betrayal could be the band that may have pushed towards getting rid of her, or it could be Tarja, who in his eyes turned on this creation, this thing that they put together that was so important to him. Because of the reference to 2005 and all that talk about betrayal, I believe that this is what the song is about. And I think that the ending, that almost like a return home that you said from a mother talking to a child, I think that was him coming back to the band after a stage of sort of however long he wallowed in that depression, that things aren't working out, and then they decided a new lead singer, which I believe was Annette Olsen. So I think that was him kind of returning into the swing of things. There was a section there, you mentioned the beginning of it, Still My Son. It ended with, all you need is to feel my love. So I think he was starting to feel the love of the band again. The final verse said, search for beauty, find your shore. So he's kind of to become more grounded. Try to save them all, bleed no more. You have such oceans within. In the end, I will always love you. So I think he found his place again in the world, and with Nightwish staying a band again. And that final thing that was said in the song was just 2 words, and it was the beginning. So this was the beginning of a new Nightwish. This was him coming back to life. It was almost like a story of a phoenix rising from the ashes, because in the song they were eulogizing him. He was dead, the death of the poet. It's all over, and then he rose again. He found his muse, he found his creative juices again, and came back to the band. And I thought that was amazing, that was what I was getting without knowing a whole lot about this song. But I think that's what this is about. Just beautiful.
Well, looking at Nightwish's history, the band was incepted in 1995. Tarja Turunen was with them at least 10 years. The level of emotional investment, and you need to keep in mind that they were fairly young people back then, and they were discovering themselves, finding out who they were as a band and as musicians and as artists, and all of that was intertwined with Tarja's presence and personality. So the level of emotional investment that Tomas had with her, I can easily understand it to be very, very strong. So I can understand this type of interpretation that you offered, that it's about her, his tumultuous times back then. I remember that relatively their time with Annette Olsen was short-lived, and from the lifespan of the band, Flora has been with them for the longest as of yet.
Now
we are in 2026, and she's been with him from at least 2013, or maybe even before that. So that's like the 12, 13 years
before. Yeah,
that's a long time. I don't know what the relationship between all the band members is. At the end of the day, even though they're a type of family, it's still a business. It's still a band that needs to produce songs. I'd like to think that back in 2005, Tomas is putting his past self to bed, or killing his past self so he can evolve beyond this, is possibly maybe even a sense of maturity, where he put his attention on what's important. The fact that the life of the band and his work cannot be dependent on his lead singer. If Tara didn't want to continue being with the band, then that means at the end of the day, with all the hardships and all the emotional turmoil, that they're going to need a new singer. I don't know if that's the state of mind he had back then. I could be completely wrong, and it could be just a sense of betrayal, and we got to find a new singer. But it's easy for me to think about that time with that charge, having a 10-year-long lead vocalist and having it end like that, because she was a real staple of Nightwish. I know Nightwish more with Tarja than I do with Floor. I know Nightwish with Floor because we react to Nightwish, but when I looped their songs in my car, that was Tarja, always Tarja. I still enjoy listening to Tarja today after she embarked on her solo career, but it's like two things can be true at the same time. I love Nightwish with Floor, I love Nightwish with Tarja, I love Floor individually, and I love Tarja individually. It's just all-around appreciation. But at the same time, if that was what was going with Tomas, I can understand that as well.
The funny thing is, as I'm talking about it, the different things are just kind of dropping into memory, and I'm not even sure that I'm trusting it fully. But I remember that back in the day, I think that they handed her some sort of a legal letter at the end of the tour. And I remember reading about it, an actual magazine. And I was thinking at the time, that's just like shit straight out of The Godfather. It's like she had probably no idea, but some idea, because she was thinking about leaving the band. She knew that things were a little bit estranged. But getting a letter like from a lawyer telling her, you're basically fired, that would have been rough. But I think that what Tomas is saying here, that it was rough for him. Maybe he felt like he was betraying her in a way as well. I was saying earlier that I felt that this was like dark and worrying earlier in the song, because I think that there was some sense of maybe something a little bit suicidal and dark in there. It kind of brings me to think that maybe that's what Tomas was thinking at the time. He didn't know if the band was going to get out of this intact. Even if they find a new singer, it doesn't mean that they're still going to be as successful, or that they'll be able to do what they've done so far, because to him, Tarja was sort of the embodiment, the voice of the band. So that would have been really rough. You mentioned something that you noticed, that he looked like he was tearing up. This was probably a cathartic experience for him to write this, to kind of get to that ending where I'm okay, we'll be okay. But it was a hell of a journey up to that point. Just beautiful. Definitely one of my favorite experiences as far as reacting to Nightwish.
And after having said everything and all the tumultuous time that they went through, they have a floor in the lineup that's like a nuclear weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that to you, like, you know Nightwish with Tarja. I know very little of Tarja. I've only heard her sing maybe a couple of times, and not necessarily just with Nightwish. So everything that we've reacted to has been with Floor, pretty much, I think.
Yeah, they're both phenomenal singers, yeah.
Yeah, and I was introduced to Floor through reacting to Nightwish, and to most of Nightwish's work through this. It's been a hell of a journey with this band, the changes that they've had. There's a lot of drama behind the scenes, and you kind of understand that there's a lot of sensitive, creative, dedicated people here behind this band. This kind of thing would probably happen. It's pretty amazing. Thank you so much, Tabitha, for this request. That was amazing. That was really, really cool and worth taking all that time to get through it. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for all the support. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Tabitha, for requesting this epic gem. We enjoyed reacting to this song tremendously, and thank you for your support. Much appreciated. If you enjoyed this episode, guys, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click the little bell icon so you'll get notified on all our future videos. Thank you all for sticking with us. Thank you all for your time.
As always, our Nightwish Reactions playlist should be up on the screen sometime about now. Give it a click and check them out. An amazing band with some gorgeous music. Thank you so much for all the support. We appreciate you. We'll be back in a couple of days with a new episode. We hope to see you all then. Thanks a lot, guys. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.